In this video, we'll look at the core meanings of the preposition in, on, and at, and how these meanings change slightly in different contexts. We'll also look at forms and grammatical rules associated with prepositions. Let's begin. Before we start, let me explain what prepositions are. Prepositions are words such as in, on, at, for, of, to. These words define the relationship between two nouns across three dimensions: the space, time, and metaphor. For instance, if I say I am in the giant box, the spatial relationship is that I am contained inside a giant box. If I say the next Olympic is in the year 2024, the temporal relationship is that the Olympics is within the year 2024. Finally, if I say I am in despair, the metaphoric relationship is that I am completely inside the mood of despair. Alright, let's start with the preposition in. Its core meaning represents enclosure. In other words, something is contained inside something else. The spatial meaning is exactly the same as the core meaning. For instance, people say take a walk in the forest because the forest encloses people. You can use in even if it's not completely surrounded, as in I held the tool firmly in my hand. Moving on, when it comes to temporal meaning, the word in is used for large time units such as week, month, year, decade, century, and for some strange reason, morning and evening. For instance, the internet usage saw the largest increase in the last decade. The word in also has two other time-related meanings. First, it means within the boundary of. For example, if I say please make payment in 3 days, it means you can pay in the first day, second day, or the third day. However, if I use in for something that has a fixed schedule, as in the next plane leaves in 20 minutes, the plane will leave exactly after 20 minutes. You have to figure out which one the speaker means by context. Lastly, let's talk about the meanings in the metaphoric dimension. There are many meanings, but three of them are the most common. The first meaning represents condition or circumstance. For instance, if you love someone very much, you may say, I am in love with someone. If you are in a dangerous circumstance, you may say, I am in danger. The second metaphoric meaning is functional inclusion. If something functionally includes something else, you may use the word in. For instance, if someone says, I am in the finance department, then the person is a part of that department and its function. If someone says the paper sparked a heated debate in the field of literature, then the debate is considered a part of the literature study and its function. The last metaphorical meaning is method or means, as in, can you speak in English? Or I am paying in cash? Or I want to see you in person. However, with or by is way more common when it comes to means and tools. Let's move on to the next preposition, on. The core meaning of on represents contact on the surface. It doesn't matter which side the contact takes place. If there's a physical contact on any side, you can use on. The spatial meaning is exactly the same as the core meaning. If you say the book is on the table, you mean the book is having a physical contact with the surface of the table. If you say I put the hat on, you mean the surface of your head is having a physical contact with the hat. Next, let's talk about the time-related meaning. On is used for days, as in on Monday, on July 2nd, and on weekends. Lastly, let's talk about the metaphorical meaning of on. There are three frequently used meanings. The first meaning represents the target of something negative. English speakers often see negative influence as a burden laid on top of someone. Hence, people use on for expressions such as today's dinner is on me, I call the police on you, or an attack on democracy. The second metaphoric meaning has to do with basis and support. Because English speakers think that evidence support your points from below, as in the graph, they use on to express basis and support, as in the script is based on a true story, or he invited her on purpose, or good grades depends on hard work. The last metaphorical meaning has to do with continuation. I will drink on and on means I will continue drinking. The show must go on means the show must continue. Let's move on to the last preposition, at. The core meaning of at refers to a dot. The spatial meaning is exactly the same. If the location seems like a dot, use at as in at the top of the mountain, I get off at the next station, or at the end of the road. Moving on to the time-related meaning, at is used for minutes, seconds, and moments because they seem like a dot in the timeline. For instance, at 12:36, at this very moment, or at that second. Let's move on to the metaphorical meaning of at. There are many metaphorical meanings, but two of them are the most common. The first meaning refers to the point of focus or target, as in look at the man wearing a black jacket, or throw a ball at somebody, laugh at somebody, or shoot at the target. The second meaning refers to place of activity, as in I drink so much coffee at work, or I am at the hospital. People also frequently use in and on for location. What's the difference among in, on, and at in terms of location? In has the nuance of 3D enclosure, as in I am in the building, and on has the nuance of sticking to a surface, as in the building is on the street. If you want to get rid of those nuances, use at. In addition, people often use at for places that perform the same social functions, as in at the bank, at the restaurant, or at work. Alright, here's the last part of this lesson. Let me remind you some forms and grammatical rules on prepositions. Firstly, there are three ways in which prepositions are used. The first way is to put a preposition between two nouns. In this case, the preposition describes the relationship between noun number 1 and noun number 2, as we have seen in, on, and at. The preposition plus the noun number 2 are treated as one unit called prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrases perform the function of either an adjective or an adverb. This means that you can say things like, I am on fire, or I called the police in a hurry. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please check out our video on the sentence structure. Anyway, let's move on to the second usage of preposition. It is when prepositions are used with a verb to form a new meaning for the verb. For instance, the verb turn means to flip 180 degrees. The preposition up means moving to a higher place. However, when the two words are used together as a verb phrase, they create an entirely new meaning, which is to appear at a place or event, as in 1,000 people turned up at the occasion. In this case, the preposition is called a particle, and you cannot erase it from the sentence. If you do so, the sentence will not make sense. Moving on, the final usage of preposition is when it is used with the verb as an adverb, not a particle. For instance, in the following sentence, I move up to the next level, move plus up does not create a new meaning. Instead, the word up just points to a new direction where I move to. In such a case, even if you get rid of the word up, the sentence still makes sense. Under such situations, people say that the preposition is used as an adverb, not a particle. Is it important to distinguish all three usages of prepositions? Not really, because sometimes it is not easy to distinguish the three cases. However, you must know that prepositions can be used to describe the relationship between two nouns or become part of the verb phrase to create an entirely new meaning. And the last thing I want to emphasize is that if you have a pronoun after prepositions, make sure that it is in the objective case. For example, between you and me, the answer depends on her, and so on. Alright, this is it for prepositions in, on, at. If you want to know more, please visit our blog in the link below or check out our videos on other prepositions. It was nice having you, and goodbye.